The following are a selection of quotes and excerpts of the outpouring of love on Carolyn's wall in the days after her passing. From Robin Cox, I am completely stunned. Hard to absorb that a person possessing the strength to be so candid, vulnerable, and giving to others could be brought down by anything. A true mentor and friend. From Deanne Singh, how can I tell you goodbye? You are such a presence in my life. Our hugs enriched me and filled my aching heart. Now it's broken again, and you aren't there to fill it up. I can only know that you'll be one of my guardian angels, and I can talk to you always. You've become my sister. Farewell.
From Jason Fabus, it is hard to process this loss, but it feels good to look back on some pictures that'll make us all smile. After all, that's what Carolyn was best at. Number 1, the glasses. Number 2, on Valentine's Day in the BCCM office, my college job, Carolyn placed 2 chocolate roses for Beth and Heidi on my desk. Needless to say, I felt pretty pranked when she later surprised me with one of my own. Number 3, pictures galore. Carolyn was easily the most active and supportive photographer at the Bob Cole Conservatory ever had. She was kind enough to take professional headshots for me gratis and also took every student's photo at commencement.
From Alex Schramek, you were the first person to see my weird ideas and treat them as legitimate. I would not have gone as far as I did in music without you. Thank you. From Kelsey Reynolds, she was the hug you needed after a long, hard day at school and the voice you needed to hear to lift your spirits up.
From Patrick Gibson, she was a champion of the music and musical education. She was also my champion. She guarded me from my own insecurities about my talents and skills and shepherded me through graduate school. She resurrected me as a musician. From Ava, I owe so much to you, yet never was your student. I was the wife, yet the impact you had in our family is everlasting. You were integral in helping Mike become the person he is today. Our son spent his first 2 years on campus in your department and has a deep love for music and singing bowls. Our family will never let the legacy you created disappear, and it will be honored and passed on.
From Dave Gerhardt, I can't put into words how I feel. Carolyn Bremer supported me and my family during the good and bad times of my life and career. She was there whenever I needed her, and I can't thank her enough for everything she did for us. I will always remember her thoughtful, kind, generous, and talented spirit.
Mark Alpazar. Dr. Bremer was one of the busiest people on earth, but she was never too busy to listen if you needed her. She really listened to what you had to say and responded fairly and compassionately.
From Ken Stevenson, I went to the airport to pick her up, and I saw her in a crowd getting off her plane before they left the secure area. I smiled at her from a distance, and she smiled at me. Somehow we identified each other without ever having seen pictures of each other. She finally made her way to me, looked at my Cardinals t-shirt, and spoke her first words to me. Right sport, wrong team. We became friends instantly.
From Colleen Ryan, I lost a mentor and friend today. I want to share the greatest lesson she taught me. In a time when I felt attacked by a great many people, mostly strangers, she told me, people's response to you is mostly not about you at all. It is about them and where they are coming from. When her sister asks us to be a little kinder today, a little more patient, a little more generous for Carolyn, it is truly the foundation of the great lessons she taught me and intentions I try to live by daily.
Bethany Price, a brilliant, bright light has gone out. Carolyn Bremer was a friend of mine and a coworker, but as profoundly as her humor, curiosity, thirst to learn, as well as teach intelligence, devotion to self-awareness, and kindness impacted me, it is nothing compared to the thousands, more likely tens of thousands, she touched as a teacher. Carolyn, you are still my favorite.
From Alex Rambo. Over the years, Dr. Carolyn Bremer and I had many conversations about music, bulls, race, respect, and the love and zest for life. Missing her will be an understatement, as she was one of the most important of the vital heartbeats and rhythms of our program, in which it has thrived and excels.
From Leof Sofer, Carolyn Bremer, you were the breath of life to those you loved, whether from a distance, remotely in your online words written with careful nurturing, or up close for one of the warmest hugs any human is capable of. If any bird will be flying higher, it will be you.
From Brian Shepard. There are friends, good friends, best friends, and then there's Carolyn Bremer. For those of us grieving her today, may we all find peace in the many wonderful memories we have of our time with her.
From Katie Holt, I guess I wouldn't say that Dr. Bremer and I were close, but at the same time, I feel that if you even had one conversation with this incredible woman, you were close, because she was so personal, so genuine, and so wise.
From JJ Sanchez, during my freshman year at OU, I met with her to see if I could study composition. She handed me a CD of The Desert Music by Steve Reich and told me I had a lot to learn. She was right, and I still do. Her influence left a lasting mark on me and the OU music program, and because of her, I know not to put on my shoes before my socks.
From Aislinn Rice, whimsical, eclectic, thoughtful, kind, inspirational, courageous, Carolyn inspired all who knew her to devote themselves to kindness. If you didn't know her, I wish you had. If you did know her, then rejoice in that fact.
From Tyler Alessi, she was an amazing educator, the only one I have had that made theory make any sense to me. And director of the Bob Cole Conservatory of Music. Every time I would come back to CSULB, I would find Dr. Bremer, and she would give me a huge hug and invite me into her office, where we would chat and inevitably take a picture in her legendary leopard print glasses.
From Steve Trapani, the Contra Gong recording session we had in the Gerald R. Daniel Recital Hall will go down as one of the funniest gigs I've ever been asked to do, and is an example of her curiosity with sound and music. As my boss in the department, she could be firm, but was always fair and kind. I will be ever grateful for her encouragement for me to post my writings. I'm not sure I'd have had the courage to do so without her blessing.
From Lindsay Eldred. Just like a child doesn't recognize until later what their parents did for them, a student does not always recognize what their teacher is doing for them. I cannot imagine connecting and engaging with every student the way that Carolyn Bremer did.
From Patricia Bradley, one of the most beautiful parts of this tragic day is all of the posts saying, I wasn't very close to her, but she changed my life for the better. The best part is that you didn't need to be super close or personally know her well in order for her to touch your life and make some sort of positive impact. From Casey Solo, she never missed an opportunity to fill each and every one of the people in her life with pride. She made me feel important. She made all of us feel important.
From Melina Evard. The paradox is that everything is impermanent, but nothing is lost. It's right there in physics, E=mc². Energy transforms into matter, transforms into energy. I lost a dear friend Sunday night, who was also a dear friend to countless others. Leader, feminist, calligrapher, photographer, sci-fi aficionado, lover of dogs, advocate for others, boundlessly generous, superbly quick-witted, wonderfully wise, and above all, deeply warm of heart. From Kyle Winterbore, your guiding words were always just enough to get me to ponder and find the answers in myself that I came seeking from you. I am forever grateful for that time in your instinct and intellect class and the family we all became in those Thursday night meditations and the raw experiencing of emotions and life. You touched so many in your life and worked tirelessly. Carolyn Bremer, in your own words, let it be enough and be gentle with yourself.
From Chris Luthi, one thing that I have learned this week is that I didn't realize how often I think about Carolyn, her humor, and her relentless passion for the Dodgers as I watch the games. What would Carolyn be thinking right now of that amazing play, or that terrible call, or the length of that most recent home run by either Muncy, Bellinger, Kemp, Hernandez, or Machado? Thanks. I practiced that.
I taught her how to say those.
I am most certainly feeling the loss. And as I read others' posts and tributes to Carolyn, I am reminded of how truly important and significant she was in countless people's lives. She impacted us all, and I cannot express deeply enough how much and how often she will be missed.
From Jonathan Talberg, Carolyn Bremer was my friend, my colleague, my partner in crime, my mentor, my biggest fan, and my North Star in all things CSULB. She touched more lives through her kindness, her teaching, her cheerleading, her mentoring, her open door than most professors can ever dream of. Our conservatory will need a lot of energy to keep her humanism, her supportive demeanor, and her unbridled joie de vivre alive. We are poorer without her. Students, faculty, and administrators alike. I am so broken today. Our tribe is hurting. Till we meet again.
From Beth Peregrine, friend, boss, teacher, mentor, cook, you are my fiercest advocate during times of great difficulty and extreme joy. You gifted me with kindness and laughter and the wisdom of hard life lessons and meditation and calligraphy and sweet Percy and music. And since this is sudden and painful and you would laugh, I say to you, not goodbye, but really, really, Carolyn? From Emma McAlister, Pond is in good hands. We're doing our best to house train her, and we know you would be laughing so hard if you were here to watch. I just can't believe I won't hear that laugh anymore, or pour over gorgeous watercolor mixes with you, or visit your office, mostly to steal the gummy worms. Or make faces at you when Leanne is being ridiculous. Or just talk about life and get your advice, or watch Love Your Garden with you while Leanne is taking her nap on Sundays. I will love you forever, fairy godmother, Dr. Auntie Carolyn.
From Kali Hardwick, your presence on this earth will be sorely felt. As a mentor and teacher, you inspired and opened the hearts of all you knew. As a friend, you emanated compassion, understanding, and happiness. You have created a generation of kind-hearted and open-minded musicians.
From Mindy Trimble, I have been reliving my favorite memories of her, talking with her and cuddling with Percy after house sitting while she went on a meditation or calligraphy retreat, a particularly wonderful dinner with her and Leanne and a few close friends. I haven't been able to share my thoughts because I couldn't put them into words. Just as I thought I was finding some, I stumbled across this post, and I am awfully grateful that Dale says it's better for me than I could have myself. Maybe the best, hardest, and most honest thing to do is to grant yourself permission not to work through it, to be kind to yourself, to wait for the time to teach you how to continue living, to sit with the lack of her, with no good words and no new words to describe it.
From Leanne Bremer. I am held by a circle of love that grounds me and reminds me that death is just the other side, that missing her will be the norm, and she'll never see the female doctor or the last season of Big Bang Theory. But I am held.
I am surrounded by love in action, love that isn't just platitudes, but can look me in the eye and know things will never be okay again and stand beside me. There is a new okay, and I will find it when it is time. I have singing, and my garden, and my books, and the dogs, her puppy, her pond, and the new Carolyn Kasbah, and I will forever hold the memories of the 7 years. 7 years. 7 of our 60 years as siblings. We joke that if we could make it 7 years, this was going to last forever. We lived together as if married. We joked about our marriage.
I can only touch this brokenness of my reality. I can only touch it for brief moments, or I might forget to breathe. Or if I can let the deepest grief flow, will I remember how to live without my anchor, my lifeline, my heart, my partner, my sister. Nothing will ever be the same again. All things change. All things die and change and leave. And our job, our one calling, is to learn to surrender to the changes, to be okay with not being okay, to know that life has absolutely and permanently changed forever.
I am held here and by her. I will do my best to live as she did. Kindness, compassion, curiosity, gratitude, and enormous generosity. I am held, but I will never be okay in the same way again.